Hey everyone, it's Melissa. Today's video is a look back over the past year. I always kind of think it's important to take a look back, at least for me, before I move forward to dealing with the new year. And so that's what I'm going to do in today's video. It's going to be kind of a long video. I've got a lot to say, so I hope you will stick around to the end. Because I hope you'll enjoy it. I think maybe you will, and maybe a lot of what I say resonates with a lot of you. So the first thing that I want to say is thank you for all of your, during my surgery for the cancer, going through the cancer and the double mastectomy, everything that I went through during that time, I had so much support from all of you. So many cards and texts and direct messages just saying you praying for me, how are you, love you, just giving me so much support. It was just astounding to me and so lovely and something that I will never ever forget. And what I hope that I can do is take that and always remember how wonderful it made me feel and pass it on to someone else or to others, and maybe they in turn will get something out of it and pass it on to someone else. And just things like that y'all have given me can start a chain reaction with people. So thank you so very much. I'm extremely grateful and will never forget it. The next thing I want to do is to speak to you all that have either decided not to do HRT or have gone off HRT because you had to. And that is to, and I could do a whole video on this, and that is don't be afraid. If you have to, I had to go off HRT. Not only that, I have to take a additional medicine for 5 years, kind of a tamoxifen type drug that squelches my estrogen even more. So, you know, I read all the side effects I was going to have, and people told me about the side effects I was going to have. I was terrified. So if you find yourself in this position, don't be afraid. Things that come up, you can deal with them, you can fight them, you can overcome them, and you can just be fulfilled and not be an old dried up hag that everything goes wrong with your body. You can keep on living your normal life, even post HRT, post breast cancer, post everything that people told you was just terrible. You can get through it. And the same goes with your skin. I was told my skin would drop and I would be, you know, it would just be wrinkle, wrinkle, wrinkle. And it did go through some changes, but then I dealt with that. I reworked my skincare, and it didn't really change. So I tell you, I'm actually feel better than when I was on HRT. I feel wonderful. Sex life is good. You know, the feelings haven't gone down at all. It's just been really good, and I've worked at it, and there's little tricks that I have tried that failed, and tried to fail, and tried to fail and failed, and then finally that worked for me. So I might do a video on that. But don't be afraid if you have to be off HRT for medical reasons, possibly for estrogen-based cancers like I had. So I wanted to mention that because that turned out to be a positive for me. I was terrified of going off HRT. Terrified. People told me so many horror stories, and they just weren't true. Some things happened, but I dealt with it. And what I couldn't do, I learned to live with. So that's my message to you all, to give you courage if you do have to go off HRT, because it was scary. Okay, so I'm going to go to the products and the podcast and the TV shows, everything like that. And some of the things I've talked about over the past year, but they were stuff that were important to me. Okay, the first one I have to mention with makeup are my friend Mary's Blessed palettes. She's got the Blessed palette, the light and the deep. These are palettes that are absolutely beautiful. I'm so proud of her. They're gorgeous, and you know, if you buy one palette this year, buy the Blessed palette, because look at these colors. Every color that you need is in there. Now, I have also bought other palettes, but this one is very, very special to me. I love Mary for one thing, but it's a darn good palette. So, like I said, I've bought other palettes and other makeup because this is what I do for a living, is buy things and review them. The Melt blushes are just fantastic. This one is my second Honey Thief. I've got it on today. There it is. It's stunning. It's just the perfect cream blush. I've got this one. I've got the Pink Sand, which I've also hit pan on it. I have tried several cream blushes this year and none of them come close to this. These cream blushes are absolutely beautiful. Yeah, you can't go wrong with them, especially if you can get them on sale. I hope they're still available. I hope they don't discontinue them. I hope everybody will buy them so that they will not get discontinued. Everything I like always gets discontinued. The next are the Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes. I have bought several this year. I've got the Love Fest, I got the Empowered, I've got the Nude Dark. I like that one a whole lot. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that gorgeous? But my best one that I got toward the end of the year is the Pretty Grunge. Look how gorgeous that is. The letters are mirrors. Isn't that pretty? And then the inside, if you like, well, a neutral to cool look. Although it does have a couple of warm colors in it too, like the nice peach right here, coral, and some neutrals through here. But it does have some coolness to it. It's stunning. So the Pretty Grunge is absolutely one of my favorite palettes. Actually, all the Huda palettes that I own, I love them. They're pretty special. They've just got something a little special to them. I don't know, they just do well. They go on well, they stay well, they're absolutely magnificent. Now I've got to talk about this because it kind of amazed me. And I put it on Instagram, and I'll show you the picture that I did from Instagram. But these are 4 eyeshadow palettes from the Trini London. So I saw them all stacked up together. You know, they come, you stack them up, they're cream eyeshadow, and you can stack them up and they're beautiful. Very easy to carry, and they don't get all over the place because they are, you know, they're cream. So I got them back out. I bought these in 2018, which is going on 6 years, and I thought, you know, I probably should get rid of those. I'm sure they're all dried out. And I opened every one of these up, and I'll show you the eyeshadow look I put it on Instagram right now. I got these out. By golly, they worked as if the first day that I ever opened them. And they're still creamy. They haven't dried out. I can still work with them perfectly. Those are some darn good eyeshadow palettes. They're a bit, you know, you're buying them individually, so if you buy several, they're on the pricey side, but I'm here to tell you, they'll last years. This one is going on 6 years now, 5.5 years. So this is perfect, and boy, are they good for travel, aren't they? Just stacking up like that, and you never ever have to worry about you know, something spilling. Another brand that I really, really enjoyed this year was Victoria Beckham. My mirror has come unglued. I've used this for so long, and I've had this for a long time. I've used it and used it and used it, and it's still got so much product in there, doesn't it? They're her eyeshadow bricks, and you think there's not much in there, but you can see a dent in this one. But I've used it countless times. And, you know, this is several years old, and it's just keeps on going and keeps on going. So her eyeshadow palettes are lovely. And of course, you know how much I love her eyeliner pencils. They're perfect, they're creamy, they're the most pigmented liners I've ever used. They're soft, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous. That one's in Bordeaux. I have a silver one and I have a brown one. So her products are really good. I also have her mascara, which I will talk about in a minute because that's one of my favorites too. But it's a tubing mascara, and well, let me go ahead and talk about it. Tubing mascaras, that's another one of my favorites for the whole year. Tubing mascaras are just made for someone like me, someone that everything smears underneath their eyes. I have bemoaned this ad nauseum. I know y'all are sick of hearing it, but things just smear underneath my eyes, especially mascaras. But tubing mascaras do not. The Milani's great. I have talked about it over and over. I remember the first one I ever used was a Trish McEvoy. I don't know if they still make it or not, but that's when I realized tubing mascaras were good. And so I wanted to try Victoria Beckham's. I like it better than the Milani one, but it's more expensive, so you know, take that into consideration. I don't know if the price you pay is worth how much better it is than the Milani, but I like it and I will probably eventually purchase it again. It's a lovely mascara. This one comes off easier. You know, sometimes the tubings are a little hard to get off because you have to add hot water to it or warm water to it and then kind of work with it to get it off. This one comes off easier than the Milani. But yeah, Victoria Beckham products, I really, really like her products so much. They've been a big hit for me this year, and tubing mascaras have been a big hit for me this year. They've been game-changing mascaras for me. Tubing mascaras have been. I wish I'd had them when I was in high school because I spent my life wiping underneath my eyes, and I would just put it on my top lashes. Finally, I just wore false eyelashes every day because I couldn't handle mascara. A lipstick I wore a lot was a L'Oreal lipstick. It's the 178. It's part of the new collection. I think they have new confident, new determined, new different words after that. But I've had these for a bit. I did a whole video on trying different shades that was trying to match up with the Tom Ford, and so I bought a whole bunch of different ones, and I have really been using them this year, and the 178 has been a favorite when I wear warm looks. Today I have on 171. The next one is the Flexible Hold Working Hairspray that I use. When I do my hair and with a curling iron with the waves like that, what I'll do first is I will take the spray to mode. I will spray it kind of underneath here and let it dry while I start working on doing the curling wand with, you know, this part, and then I'll go up to the top part and after it dries, and it keeps it flexible. And you can, you know, use a curling wand or whatever with it, but it holds it too at the same time. It gives it a little extra something. And I can use it on my Velcro rollers. It really gives a light hold to your hair, and it has really been a favorite this year. And it's about time to change them, but this year I also came up with something I was pretty proud of, and that was putting gauze around my Velcro roller. So I measured, and I would cut the gauze to, you know, go around one time around the Velcro roller. Gauze would work the best. I talked about it in an earlier video this year. Gauze works the best because then you can get some of the bristle out, but not all of the bristle is out for delicate hair that's fine, that gets pulled and broken using Velcro rollers. This has been a game changer for me this past year. Something else that has been a great game changer this year for my hair, and I haven't told y'all about it yet. I told people on Instagram. You know, I like to sometimes use these great big 2-inch rollers They're like Conair that you can buy on Amazon or Ulta or wherever. But they're great big, and they give you, you know, they smooth out your hair, they get rid of the frizz, but they're huge. Well, they have these clips that come with them. They're like two-pronged. They're just like this. They don't hold your hair worth anything, so I have tried. And the pins on smaller rollers, you know, those little metal U-shaped pins are, you know, they're too small. You can't stretch them to go around it. And I tried, you know, smaller clips. I tried the clips like you put in your hair, and they worked okay, but you would have to sit real still and not move around. But I found on eBay, and I will link it, I hope they still have it, great big clips that go around your great big Velcro rollers. Look how big those are. I am so excited to show these because I have been using them, and when you buy them, the person I bought them from, you get a whole bunch. And so if I need to, if it needs a little extra hold, because you know, you just use a few of these. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's just 8 of them in there. So I'll get big chunks, you know, and roll it all over because I just want big and smooth. But these hold them perfectly, and I can do 2 at a time, and it will hold it, and I can move around. I don't have to just sit there like that. And even when I would sit there like that, some of the time my hair would just fall out because it's so fine, and those clips never held it. But these clips will hold. That was so exciting to discover that. I'm skipping over a lot of things because this is running so long, so I might talk about them in future videos. And the last thing is, talked about it before, but this is the only brow pencil I use. It is the one from Benefit. It is the Precisely My Brow Pencil, and my color is 3. Perfect color for my eyebrows, perfect color for my brows to go with my hair color root, and I love it. It's got the tiny little point, and it makes the perfect little, you know, you can brush up and make the perfect hair, fake hair that you want to make to fill in, and I love this color. And also to go with it, the 24-hour brow setter, which you know, set it sets it. Man, does it really set it just perfectly. But I also like the wax they make too. So these 2 products are just, I just don't even look for anything else for my brows. Love those. Okay, I had some apps I was going to talk about, but I'm skipping those. And the podcasts that I have enjoyed this year. Murder with My Husband. It's a man and a woman, and she talks about the cases with them and explains everything. She does a really good job of explaining things. The Prosecutors podcast. There are 2 prosecutors, and they tell why the crime happened, what they think happened, and they talk about how it is prosecuted, and they explain a lot of law, which I like that. That's what I like to hear, is about how things are prosecuted and how things are defended and what they think happened, and legal. I like the legal aspect of it. And I also like Southern Fried True Crime. That was with Erica Kelly, and Big Mad True Crime. That is with Heather Ashley. So those are the podcasts I like. I'm trying to hurry through those, so I won't go into explaining too much. I will just link them so you can see about them. ASMR, that got me through horrible times this year where I couldn't sleep, when I woke up in the middle of the night and realized that I had cancer and had to have, you know, face these surgeries, and listening to ASMR helped me enormously, especially the 2 channels of Whispers Red and Moonlight Cottage. So I will link their 2 channels so you can take a look at them. ASMR is not for everyone, and I'll go back to the beginning of my video of finding things that work for you. That worked for me to help me sleep at night, to help me not go off into a frenzy. It kept me calm, which kept me healthier, and I think that that's really important. So Whispers Red and Moonlight Cottage were my 2 favorite ASMR video channels. Okay, the TV shows that we enjoyed this year were the 2 Candy Montgomery cases. I talked about them earlier. Candy Montgomery was tried of taking an axe to the wife of the man that she had been having an affair with. So it goes through the whole case. It happened a long time ago, but this past year, well, yeah, year before last and this past year, we watched this past year 2 series on love and death that was on Max, and Candy, which was on Hulu. They were both excellent. Both delve into the story, and I think you'll enjoy both of them. Bloodlands on Acorn was another series we really enjoyed. It takes place in the modern day, but it has reflection back to Northern Ireland and the troubles that happened back then, and things that happened in the past come back to haunt the detective now. I think there was 2 seasons of them. I don't know how they would ever have a third, because things he did in his past have come back to haunt him in his life now, and it's a mess, but it's excellent. I think it's the same people that did Line of Duty, and that's on Acorn. Happy Valley came to an end this year. Excellent series. I suggest you go back to the beginning and watch all of the series for it to make sense. Very, very good. And that's on Acorn. Lincoln Lawyer, I believe that was on Max also. The 2nd season we liked, but it wasn't quite as good as the 1st season, but it was still excellent. And it's about an attorney that drives around in his Lincoln a whole lot, but he is really smart and takes on these long shot cases and usually wins them, and at the very end you find out, it's like a Perry Mason moment. You find out, oh, so-and-so really did do it, or so-and-so really didn't do it, and that's the person that did it. So, okay, I rushed through the end because I didn't want to make this too long. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking to the end. Be sure and like and subscribe this. I'm really wanting to have a goal of growing my channel and making some money doing it. I had told this past year, I told you all what I made, and it's not a whole lot, but I want to try to increase that this year. I've got a few more expenses that I've taken on, so I'm hoping I can do that. Try to make more videos to do that. So thank you for watching to the end. Give it a like and subscribe and a thumbs up, and ring the bell and everything else that you're supposed to do. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Talk to y'all in a couple of days, and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.